Chapter 3. The Cave. Next day at recess time, as he went past me, Henry whispered, "Go up there and wait for me." Of course I knew what he meant, and when no one was looking, I went around the house and raced up the hill. It was bright sunshine, and I was not afraid. I found the place with a triangular stone in midstream, and I sat down and waited. I was not going to open the safe without Henry. I waited and felt a little uneasy. Once or twice I thought I heard a noise, so I was much relieved when Henry came up. Arthur was with him. "I brought him," said Henry. "I think he should be in on this with us." I was glad. I really liked Arthur. So we all three knelt, and Henry very carefully removed the slab. Without looking inside the safe, he said to Arthur, "You have the first look." Arthur did. He did not say a word. "What do you think about our safe?" I asked. "Isn't it a grand hiding place?" Still, Arthur did not say a word. "Take it out, Arthur," Henry said. "After all, it was your treasure first." Arthur raised his head and looked at us. His face was all pinched, as if he had closed it up shut, and he said in a choking voice, "There's nothing in there." "Nothing?" Henry and I gasped, and we bumped our heads trying to look into the hole, both of us at the same time. Arthur was right. There was nothing there. The piece of chocolate, our gold, was gone. "Who coulda?" started Henry, and then we three jumped because we heard the noise of stones being kicked by footsteps, and I saw something blue behind a bush, and then it disappeared. There, catch her," I screamed, and I knew at once it was Denise. We all started in that direction, and sure enough, it was Denise. But though we ran as fast as we could, she was way ahead of us, and she kept leaping about like a goat, always out of reach. Then suddenly she shrieked, moved her arms frantically, and disappeared as if swallowed by the earth. When, all out of breath, we came to the spot we had seen her last, she was nowhere. We looked and looked around, and we started to call, "Denise! Denise, don't hide. Come out. We've got you. Come on." From far away we heard a tiny voice. "Come here and get me. I'm hurt." "Where are you?" we called. "Right here, in the cave." "The cave?" we exclaimed. "There is no cave." "There is," said Denise's voice. "Right under the boulder where you stand. It's where I slipped and fell into the cave." We went all around trying to find the entrance into the cave, but we could not see anything, and all the while we could hear Denise sobbing underneath. It was Arthur who solved the riddle. At the bottom of the boulder there was a crack. We paid no attention to it because it was too small for anything to go through. But, as a matter of fact, it could be done. It's what Arthur discovered. You had to place yourself in a certain position, and if you did, your body fitted the bumps and angles of the crack, and you could slip through, which is what had happened by accident to Denise. Arthur already had his legs through when Henry pulled him back, saying, "Just a minute. Listen, Denise. We are coming to your rescue under one condition. You give us back the treasure. If not, you can just stay down there and rot." Henry can be harsh sometimes. I promise," wailed Denise. Then Arthur went down. We heard him say, "Isn't this something? Henry, come down too." "Is there room for me too?" I called. "Sure," said Arthur. So Henry and I slipped down the crack, and lo and behold, we found ourselves in a natural underground cave, very spacious, with a dry, sandy floor. At least 15 people could have stood in that cave. It was such a marvelous discovery that we nearly forgot about Denise, who lay there whimpering. Arthur remembered first and went over to her. But Henry said, "Just a minute. Arthur, Denise, the treasure first." Denise gave Arthur the chocolate, and of course we could see she had nibbled a little piece out of the gold, but it was fortunate she had not swallowed it whole. So we did not say anything. Besides, she was badly frightened, and we were too excited about the cave. "It's a marvelous place," commented Henry, looking around. "We shouldn't say anything to Sister Gabriel. It should be a secret." He looked down at Denise and seemed suddenly to make his mind up about something. "Let's sit down and celebrate," he said. "Let's all, the four of us, eat up the treasure now." Denise's eyes shone. "Cross my heart," she said. "I won't tell anyone about our cave, and I'm sorry. I really didn't want to eat the treasure all by myself. I just wanted one lick. I hadn't had any chocolate for so long. I wanted one taste. Just one lick, like Janet had. Then we knew for sure she had spied on us and that it had been her footsteps we heard the evening before. And I knew she wanted to lick so bad, not only because, like the rest of us, she had not tasted chocolate for so long, but because I had had one lick, and she was jealous that Henry had shared his gold with me. But I didn't say anything because she was truly sorry and she was hurt. And also I kept thinking that if Henry had chosen her instead of me, I would have been so mad I might have done something way worse than Denise did. Arthur summed up everything nicely. Let us all be friends. So we shook hands, and the four of us ate the treasure very slowly. Very slowly. One tiny bite each in turn. Then Arthur went up again to see if the coast was clear. Henry took Denise by the shoulders and I by the feet, and we lifted her through the crack. Arthur grabbed her and pulled her out. Then I hoisted myself through, and Henry came up last. Denise said she could not walk, and we were very annoyed because it meant we would have to carry her, and Sister Gabriel would discover what happened. Henry became quite cross. You would spoil our plan, wouldn't you? He told Denise reproachfully. Helpless, always helpless, in one way or another. I cannot stand a girl who... But Arthur put himself between them and said very gently to Denise, though I could see he was annoyed too, just try to put your foot down, lean on me and try. I can't, wailed Denise. Just try, Arthur went on with encouraging and at the same time very determined tone of voice. Here, Henry, help her on the other side. Now take it easy, Denise. We won't let you go. Denise did as Arthur told her, and suddenly her face brightened. She found she could put her foot down, and she could walk. She had been a little bruised and very frightened. We all came back to Beuvelin, very happy, and as we crossed the yard, Henry put his finger on his lips and said, Hotis, which is the French word for mum.